It's time to put your health in your own hands. Get ready to learn from today's top health and wellness innovators and thought leaders on Optimal Health Radio. Now, here's your host.
Hi, this is Dermatologist, and I'm really excited to introduce today's guest, Dr. Keira Barr. Dr. Barr is an international best-selling author, speaker, consultant, and physician, a cutting-edge dermatologist known as an innovative thinker. Dr. Barr helps women live healthier, feel better, and live the lives they envision for themselves. She has shared her life-changing ideas in business, education, health, and professional forums, teaching how to rejuvenate and amplify skin health naturally, reverse sun damage, prevent and manage skin cancer, and build confidence, self-awareness, self-esteem, and resilience. As the Chief Wellness Officer of Resilient Health Institute, by embracing what is on the surface as well as what's below it, she is redefining the delivery of skincare. Welcome, Dr. Barr.
Thank you so much.
I'm thrilled because you wrote the book, The Skin Whisperer. A dermatologist reveals how to look younger, radiate beauty, and live the life you crave. I love that message. And I was lucky enough to actually meet you in person. And I just want everyone to know that you really are the Skin Whisperer. So tell me more about your book.
Yeah, so it's funny. I have been called the Skin Whisperer, but the essence of the book is really using the power of your skin. Our skin as our largest organ, it's an incredibly powerful tool that we have to really understand what's happening inside our bodies, not just physical health, but our emotional well-being as well. And the idea is to hear the messages that your skin is telling you when they're just a whisper, rather than shouting, which unfortunately is what happened in my case. I was deaf to the messages that my skin was trying to tell me about my health, and unfortunately I ignored them, and I wound up being diagnosed with melanoma, which is the most dangerous skin cancer that there is.
Oh my goodness. So I know that, so your skin is literally talking to you all the time, and I think everyone knows that our skin, I guess, is our largest organ that we have. Is that accurate?
Yes, that is correct. Although, yeah, go ahead.
Oh, I was just thinking about the fact that, obviously we look at our skin, and like I'm looking at mine now, and it's extra wrinkly, so I'm not sure what that means. It probably means I need to drink more water, and of course I'm getting older. But tell me a little bit about some of the problems that maybe our skin is trying to tell us about, but maybe we're just not recognizing. So how do you help the people in your practice and, of course, through your book?
Right. Well, one of the biggest ways, the book isn't just about skin cancer, but as skin cancer is the most prevalent cancer in the United States, it's not only a public health issue, it is an economic issue because it costs over $8 billion a year to manage skin cancer. So becoming aware of what is on your skin in terms of what to look for can be life-saving as well as life-changing. So some of the signs that are important to know are sores that aren't healing. So depending on where they are on your body, things above the waist take a couple of weeks to heal. Things below the waist, where because your blood circulation is a bit slower, can take a month, to 6 weeks or so to heal up. But something that persists longer than that, it's important to at least make note of it and get it checked out. And with regards to melanoma, we're always looking for the it's important to know your ABCDEs, right? So things, pigmented lesions, dark spots that are asymmetric, so they don't look the same on both sides. They have an irregular border, so they're not uniform. They are varied in color, Size, that's a soft call. We always say that something's larger than a pencil eraser, but I can assure you that I've seen melanomas that are smaller than that. So it's really the E that is the most important, something that is changing over time. And that's why it's so important that people, take a look at their skin every single month. I always say, the best advice I can give is to get naked. You're right before you're getting in the shower, you pick the date of your birthday and you check your birthday suit for any uninvited guests, any spots that stand out from your crowd, anything that meets the ABCDEs I just talked about, sores that aren't healing, just anything that catches your eye, that's what you should bring to the dermatologist to have checked out.
I think that's really important because it is interesting how, over the years, I mean, I've had weird spots in my, I remember, maybe when I was in my late 30s, early 40s, I started to get those little tiny red spots on my skin, and I'm going, what's that? And then, of course, there's the, just spots and different things. But so when you said the date of your birthday, for example, I was born on the 3rd. So once a month on the date, like the 3rd, I should be looking at my spots and seeing what is there, what looks different, what is changed or not changed. Is that accurate on the date of like your birth date every month?
Exactly. And just because that date is a date you'll always remember. So it's a good one just to put in your calendar. And exactly from top to bottom, head to toe, looking at all your nooks and crannies, between your fingers, the bottoms of your feet, looking in your eyelids, your eyes, looking in your mouth. And especially, not everyone is comfortable looking at all of their skin, but even getting a hand mirror, especially for women, to look at all your intimate bits and parts, because you know your body better than anybody else. And you're going to be able to take notice of what may be growing, changing, or new spots that shows up that just stands out from your crowd. And that's what we call the ugly duckling, the ugly duckling sign, some spot that just doesn't fit in with the rest of your spots. And those are the ones that you want to bring to your dermatologist. And they don't necessarily mean that something is wrong. I call lots of spots, you mentioned red spots, as gifts of maturity. There certainly are things that pop up as we get older, and many of them are completely harmless. But it's important that you get a second set of eyes on it. You just don't want to brush it off as, this is just a gift of maturity and it's nothing to worry about. Get it checked out and get that reassurance from a board-certified professional.
Well, it is important because as for doctors, a dermatologist is a specialist in skin, and so they're actually trained to look at these when maybe a primary physician may not have the expertise for all of these things too. So it's important to go talk to someone who actually is a dermatologist. And you have that unique dual board certified classification. So what does that mean?
Yeah,
a dual board certified dermatologist.
That means that I had to take a lot of tests. So in dermatology, which is why I love it, you can be, you treat adults, you treat kids, you can do surgery. And what I subspecialized in is looking at skin on a microscopic level. So truly looking at skin on the surface as well as beneath it. And my subspecialty is called dermatopathology. So when you go to your doctor and they do a biopsy of your skin and they send it off to the lab, I'm the one who looks at your skin underneath the microscope and makes the diagnosis. So it's this neat thing where, looking at the skin, I can see what it looks like. And then even in my mind's eye, I know what it's going to look like underneath the surface, the inflammation, the type of cells that are there. So it's kind of nerdy, but I totally love it.
But that just means that when you talk to somebody about their skin, you're actually looking at it not only of what you can see, but what's going on at that microscopic level. So it would seem to me like I'd be really confident when I talk to you about what you're going to tell me if I should worry or not. But I think that was important, what you said, is about not every dot and spot is something to really be freaked out about. And that's why you should talk to a dermatologist, so that you don't have to worry about things that are just part of the normal aging process. Now, you also have developed a 3-step process when you work with people for their health and happiness and guidance. So it's not always just about the skin, right?
Absolutely. In fact, especially with my case, it oftentimes is less about the skin and more about what's happening beneath it, and not just on the microscopic level, really about how we are living. Your skin, as your largest organ, it's a true window to and reflection of how your body is functioning. And so things that pop up on the skin, rashes, acne, exacerbation of, if you have a history of eczema or psoriasis, these inflammatory conditions, it's really a clue that your body is struggling with something. And so we really look deeply into how you're living, how you're eating, and not just what you're eating, but the whole process. Are you rushing around? Are you eating in your car? Are you actually breathing? Are you chewing? Your body needs time to rest and digest. Looking at how you're sleeping, how you're moving your body. I think in our society there's a lot of pressure to look a certain way, and there's all these fad diets and exercise programs, so people always think they have to do more and more and more. And unfortunately, that puts a lot of stress on your system. So it's a matter of understanding what your particular body needs to thrive. And lastly, that emotional well-being, how we perceive our stress, how we are relating to other people, how we're caring for ourselves. All of those things, they manifest themselves on your skin in one way or another. So when we look at taking care of your skin, we got to look at how you take care of the whole person.
So when you're working with people, you're not only just working with them about skin, and you're actually looking at their emotional health and nutritional health and things like that. Am I picking this up accurately?
Yes. So sorry if I didn't make that clear. Yes, absolutely. Looking, there are 4 main pillars, basically, nutrition, sleep, movement, and I would say it's communication with the people around you, and as well as with yourself. I think how you interact and how you show up in this world, the way you relate to other people can be a reflection of your own self-image. And so we look at all of those pieces when we are kind of addressing true skincare. So there's a lot to it.
Go ahead. I'm going to ask you a question about kind of along the lines of when people come to you, what are some of the big issues? Because, for example, everybody's looking for the quick fix, the magic, right. the like, put this cream on and you're going to look, 15 years younger in, 5 minutes. That's a really popular one right now. There's some type of a serum, I know, that where they show the video, and I guess it must plump up the face, because you can see the wrinkles start to dissolve or look different in a short amount of time. So what you're talking about is really a lot, again, just like you said, it's more about the beauty that we all have that is not just skin deep. It's like, that radiate. Do you think that when people with dermatologists, is dermatologist, or when you go to see a doctor, a dermatologist, do people like naturally have you on their list of, oh yeah, check, go get, my mammogram, see the dermatologist? And or are you like a second thought? Why don't people go see a dermatologist as much as maybe they should?
Well, it's interesting because skin issues are the number one driver for people going to see their doctor. And usually they start off at their primary care physician's office and then eventually will wind up at a dermatology office when their doctors kind of run out of options. So I think that we should be on their list, first and foremost, just because we have a lot of experience can probably save them some trouble of trying lots of different lotions and potions that may or may not be effective. So, yeah, I mean, skin issues are the number one driver.
But most people start with a primary physician.
Yeah, they do.
A dermatologist, when maybe I don't know, maybe they should go to the dermatologist first and then go to the primary physician.
Right, and it's hard too because the way that our health system works, a lot of times because of insurances, they can't get to the dermatologist right away. They have to, go to the gatekeeper, who's the primary care physician, and then they get referred to dermatology after the fact. So it can be challenging. And I know that a lot of my colleagues, we have these wait lists. It's hard to get into the dermatologist. I would say, though, for anyone listening, especially if you have a pigmented lesion that you're concerned about, certainly I think that things like acne or rashes can be emotionally challenging to deal with. But sores that aren't healing, pigmented lesions that are changing, those are a little bit higher on the potential life-threatening scenario. So when you call a dermatologist office, those are the buzzwords. I have a sore that's not healing, it's bleeding, something is growing and changing, and I'm worried about skin cancer. That should get you in pretty quick.
Oh, okay. Well, see, that's a good, that's why we ask the insider information.
Right.
Now, do you I know you have a website, and what else do you do? I know you speak, and you recently were interviewed on PBS about skin. Can you tell us a little bit about what you were interviewed for on that PBS special?
Yeah, so on the special, my focus has been skin cancer and melanoma for so long, just because as a resident I did a fellowship that was the melanoma fellowship, and then with my personal experience having been diagnosed, and skin cancer being the most prevalent cancer in this country, it is truly a passion for me. And so this is what I spoke about on that special, really, again, just getting the word out, check your skin, how to protect yourself. And most people think it's just sunscreen, and I always like to say that sunscreen should be your last line of defense, not your first, which is pretty controversial, but it's not so much about the outside in. You need a comprehensive strategy. It has to be just as much about what you're doing from the inside out, and that's building a strong foundation of health, which begins with how you nourish yourself. The 3-step process that I take patients through, it's, taking notice of how you're living, what's on your skin, and then nourishing. And nourishment isn't just food. It's, again, how you're sleeping, how you're moving, how you're caring for yourself, and the relationships that you have with others. So all of that matters. And when you have a strong foundation, your body is better able to deal with the stresses that life, presents to you, including the environmental stressors like air pollution, environmental toxins, ultraviolet exposure. And then you use those external measures like sunscreen, hats, sunglasses, protective clothing when you're outdoors to bolster the protection that you have.
I see. So people can get in contact with you. Obviously, you have an office, but you also have a pretty extensive online presence. Can you talk a little bit about ways that people can get in contact with you?
Absolutely. I do a lot of my work virtually. So my website is Choose Resilience. I know that's a mouthful, but it's chooseresilience.com. and they can follow me on Instagram at Resiliency Blueprint, as well as on Facebook, and I have a page, Dr. Keira Barr. So those are great ways that people can find me and learn a little bit more about me.
Great.
As well as my book.
Yeah, well, the cool thing about the book, The Skin Whisperer, is it's a great place to start to learn about the skin, because I don't think that most people think about skin in the same way that how you've described it. You know, I just think, you know, I know that you've really opened my eyes to start thinking about my skin in a, well, how do I say it, in a whole different way, because I didn't really think about it as much as, but you're absolutely right about how we think about how we look and how we feel. And of course, we notice the wrinkles in our skin and bumps and lumps and all these different things that may or may not be normal and natural. So I really like the fact that you've given us some tips and actually a really good tool. You know, hey, look at your birthday suit on the birthday date every month. So like mine would be the 3rd. So on the 3rd of every month, I should look and see if I have anything going on, and then pay attention to any sores or things that don't seem to heal. So, you know, that could mean all kinds of different things. So what is your preferred method of contact if somebody would like to make an appointment or check you out?
Yeah. So I think going to the website, chooseresilience.com, I offer a free, what I call a breakthrough session, just to see what someone's really looking for and how I may best serve them. So on the website, there's a schedule tab, and so they can set up a consultation there or shoot an email. Their email address is there if they want to get more information.
Okay,
great
great.
Ways.
And that is chooseresilience.com or Dr. Keira Barr. And of course, on our show notes, we'll have some live links for everyone so they can click right through. So, Doctor, is there anything else that you would like to say to our audience before I let you go?
I think we touched on it, but the biggest thing is to get naked. Have fun with it. You know, you can just get familiar with your skin. You want to feel comfortable and confident in your skin. And that begins by really taking notice of everything about how you're living. And there's no quick fix. We're all on a journey. And I've been through it myself. I know that it's not easy, but it's absolutely worth it.
Well, I really appreciate that. So everybody, you can find Dr. Keira Barr's book on Amazon, and it is The Skin Whisperer, and again, international best-selling author, Dr. Keira Barr. Thank you so much. I really learned a lot.
Well, thank you. It was a true pleasure.
This is Tammy Patzer. Go make it a beautiful day.
You've been listening to today's top health and wellness innovators and thought leaders on Optimal Health Radio. To get more solid health and wellness information, visit optimalhealthradio.com.